Hello everyone, welcome back to Swastha Vritta Introduction, second part. So let us recap once about what we did in the last class. So in the last class, we understood what is Swastha, what is Vritta, and in collective way, Swastha Vritta, and the different definitions of Swastha pertaining to different acharyas. Now, and then we also understood how to maintain Swasthya, right? So I hope you have found the definition in Charaka Vimanasthana. If you have found, you can post it in the comment section. Then, so today's class, what we'll be going to do is we'll understand the importance of learning Swastha Vritta. We'll understand what is preventive and social medicine, the sister concern or the modern counterpart, what they say is and also we'll discuss different definitions of health, how the definitions evolved. We'll understand the dimensions of health and also how to evaluate the health. So let us start. Let us go for the first learning objective, that is Swastha Vritta Prayojanam. So why should we study this science of Swastha Vritta? What importance does it have? So you might be already familiar with this quote, Sarvam Anyat Parityajya Shariram Anupalayet Tad Abhavehi Bhavana Sarva Bhavaha Sharirinam. So what does Acharya mean here? He says that you have to take care of your health, your Sharira. Okay, so why? Because all the things you want to achieve or you want to experience are through this instrument of Sharira. If you keep the Sharira in a proper way, then yes, you can achieve things. If not, then it is of no use. So in this Sharira in a proper way, what we should do is explained in Swastha Vritta. So what are the goals of life? The goals of life are dharma, artha, kama and moksha, right? So we are already familiar with these goals. The ethics, the material possessions, what you want to do, what all your desires are there, which you want to fulfill in this lifetime, your bucket list, or the development, how you want to go. And you want to have freedom from this bondage of ignorance. You want to be more knowledgeable. You want to have a intelligent life, a better lifestyle, right? So that development can happen when you have a healthy body and a healthy mind. Okay, so now when we know why we require this Sharira for us, how to maintain the health, how to take care of it. So this quotation is a very nice quotation for this century, because see what it states is how a person takes care of his body is nagari swavahito bhavet. So how you should take care of your health, you should take care like that of how you care for your material things. Okay, nowadays we have become more materialistic. We care for our cell phones better, we care for our laptops better than what we care for ourselves. Do we check our phones regularly? Yes. Do we exercise regularly? That is a question to be asked, right? So in the same way, we have to take care of our health like how we take care of our instruments. Now, through what should we take care of our health if we want to take care? Manavo yena vidhina swasthashteshtati sarvada. This shloka is a very nice culmination of all the things. That's why I have selected this. But yes, there are many other shlokas. Many other references or many other advocacies which are told by our acharyas, which you can definitely collect. Dinacharya, Nishacharya, Rutucharya, Yathoditam. Please pardon the spelling mistakes. Acharan Purushaha Swasthaha Sada Tishtati Na Anyatha. So, who will be healthy? A person who follows all these charyas. Okay, so only that person can can maintain his swasthya, both physical and mental and even social level. Right? So, this is how we have to maintain our health. That is why we should learn swastha. So there are other definitions as well. So we learn the Swastha Vritta to first thing is maintain our own health. To become an example, lead with an illustration, lead with an example. Fine. So you become healthy, you show to the world that this is how the person should exist. Okay. And then you lead others as well. You help people to improve their health as well. You become a proactive member of the society. So you help the social health as well. And in turn, you help the health of the community. See, right now, the situation calls for a person who can lead the preventive aspect of health, who can guide them towards how to become more healthy, how to improve more immunity, right? So everybody's vision is turned right now. So till now, the diseases which were being given importance were those which had a kind of a curative aspect, more of surgery. The researches were going on in those perspectives. But right now, the world has stopped and it has turned towards alternative sciences or alternative modalities which can improve their health. Fine. Like they have turned their head towards sciences of preventive importance, like ours. Okay, so that is how you can give something back to society in a meaningful way. So it is like prevention is always better than cure, right? So that is what is required right now. That is the need of the hour, and that is how you can improve professionally as well. So that is why the Swastha Vritta holds much more importance, primary importance in any society. Now coming to preventive and social medicine, which is like a parallel science of Swastha Vritta, which also you have to study, and a major part of your syllabus consists of this modern science. So when we come to preventive and social medicine, the first thing which comes to our mind is it is a public health. Okay, so the public health concept was developed in 1800s. Okay, so it was this preventive and social medicine started as public health. The thing is when a person, a lawyer in England, he proposed this Public Health Act for the first time, and that is how, and it got accepted, and the first Public Health Act was passed in 1848, and that is how the public health started. And that's how, why even India's public health system is similar to the British system. Okay, but then as it developed, the form started changing. Like Louis Pasteur, he found out the germ theory, and then he told that yes, the infection happens because of germs, and then the picture of this public health changed, and it turned into a preventive science, a preventive and social science. So first preventive science, because he told that, Louis Pasteur told that the diseases can be prevented if we take a proper precautionary measure. Fine. And then slowly it becomes social science, because there was no way that prevention can happen without like on an individual basis alone. Okay, it required a social setting to prevent the diseases. So that is how the preventive and social medicine started. So that's how the modern medicine is, right? In Ayurveda, everything is well defined, and already a systematic strategic plan is given to you. All you have to do is you have to understand it, learn it properly, and apply it in a required manner, in a proper manner, right? But the modern science is not like that. It has been developing, it is still developing, and it is still experimenting. Fine, it is not something which is already well defined and good established science like ours. So the modern medicine has currently the three aspects: the curative, preventive, and social aspect. Curative aspect is something which is known as the allopathic science. We are already familiar with it, right? The preventive science is what we have to study now. It prevents from diseases from affecting us. Then the social science is something which is sorry, okay. Let us understand the curative medicine. Primary objective of curative medicine is removal of disease from a patient and the treatment of the disease by use of drug which produces the reaction that itself neutralizes the disease by the introduction of antibacterial and antibiotic agents. This is how the curative medicine works. Then coming to preventive medicine, it is a uh, preventive science which helps in preventing the diseases and promoting the health as well. Okay, so it is something which is used by healthy people to develop their health, to keep away from the diseases. And then there is social medicine. There's also again a European speciality. It is study of a man as a social being in his total environment. Okay, it stands on two pillars. It stands on medicine and yes, it stands on social science as well. So we should know what is the cultural background, what is the ethnical background, what is the social background of a society to understand and apply this science. Okay, the rules change depending on any society you are in. Then now you understand what is preventive and social medicine, right? So let us try to understand what is health according to the modern science. Now, what is health? When this question arose, so the thing was the diseases were well known. The public health started taking importance, and then there was a need to understand what is health, to give a proper definition for the health. And it is a very interesting story actually. The first definition given is called as biomedical concept was absence of disease. So everybody was very happy to come up with this definition. Yes, it is absence of disease, right? It is also a very famous definition. Then people started thinking we are defining health with the help of a disease condition. So how can you evaluate the health? If a person is not having any disease, does it mean that he is healthy? So they thought that yes, this definition is not a proper definition. It is not a complete definition, right? So they kept understanding and then they came up with an ecological concept. They said that the health is kind of supplemented by environment, the social environment or any kind of physical, biological environment, whatever is around us. So they said that if there is an equilibrium between man and his environment, that is health. Okay, so that was called as ecological concept. But then still it was like something about the environment. It was not defining properly what is health. Then they came up with another concept like there is a social phenomena which interacts with our body and there is a biological phenomena which kind of responds. So it is said that a biological and social phenomena, health is a biological and social phenomena. This was called a psychosocial concept. But yes, again, it lacked that something which can define a proper health status. Okay, so finally, after many such definitions, there are n number of definitions, okay, which were proposed, but they are all right in their own way. So finally, the researchers came up with this definition, a model definition, which is the synthesis of all these above definitions. It was also called as a holistic concept. The term holistic was used to define this definition. Okay, so what is that definition? Health is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely absence of disease or infirmity. Okay, so let us understand this definition in a better way. It is a multidimensional theory. Now, what do we mean by dimensions? Dimensions are something which are like facets. Okay, so you have seen a two-dimensional picture, you see a three-dimensional picture, right? It is as if coming out, it is like a real thing. So that is what a dimension means. So health was given many facets. They said that we cannot define it like a 2D way. It has multiple Ds. Okay, so Some examples of dimensions were given in the definition itself, that is physical, mental, and social. But then there are many other definitions, dimensions. Okay, and then they told that it is not merely absence of disease or infirmity. Infirmity is something where you are not firm enough, you are not decided, you are confused in a way. Okay, so it is not just physical, it is also mental and your emotional way. So yes, but this definition still lacked something. It was an idealistic goal like Sushruta's concept, okay, rather than a realistic proposition wherein you can evaluate health in proper way. Then they started understanding each dimension and explaining them, okay. But yes, it does set out a standard for a positive health. It's not like nobody can attain health with this definition, but it gives you a standard till where you have to go. It gives you a goal, and then you can develop yourself till then. But this is not the only definition. They came up with another definition, which is called as a working definition of health, and it is there given in your books. I want you to, if you find that definition, I want you to post it in the comments section that you found that definition. Okay, that is more realistic and more attainable goal. Okay, and yes, this all definition depended on positive kind of proactive participation in society. Okay, so let us understand the first one, the dimensional theory, multidimensional theory. What does this multidimension mean? What are these dimensions which kind of take us towards the health? Okay, which give us a proper idea of what is health. So we already are familiar with these terms: physical, mental, and social dimension. Okay, then there are other dimensions as well. There are multiple dimensions actually. You can keep on adding. It is up to you. If you want, later after you finish your studies, you can go for research and you can find out a different dimension which exists for health, and you can propose it to WHO, and maybe if they find it right, they will accept it. Okay, you have the capacity to propose dimensions. So that's why it is kept open. So there are spiritual dimension, emotional dimension, and many other dimensions. Okay, cultural dimension, ecological dimension. So you can propose, you name the dimension and it is there. So let us first understand these basic dimensions. See, they have even accepted the spiritual dimension. Let us understand about the physical dimension first. What is physical dimension? It explains a set of signs and symptoms of your body. So for example, good complexion. What does good complexion mean? It doesn't mean that you become fair or something. It becomes clear complexion. Okay, your skin is healthy, it is glowing, it is clear. Okay, then bright eyes. Your eyes are not droopy or you're not always sleepy, etc. So eyes are bright and you are able to perceive the things in a proper way. Lustrous hair. Hair are healthy, the body of the hair is good, there are no split ends, no dullness or no thinning of the hair. Okay, then body well clothed with firm flesh, not too fat. This kind of comprise, like what you say, you can compare it to sama mamsa pramana, okay, or sama samhanana as well. So a firm flesh which is clothing your body in a proper toned body, resulting into a toned body. It is not something which is like sthaulya symptoms. It is not loose. Okay. Then comes sweet breath. Breath indicates the state of your digestion, right? So if your breath is sweet, that means your digestion system is working properly. Then good appetite. You have a proper hunger at proper time. You eat properly and you digest it till the next food timing. Sound sleep, proper sleep. You get sleep at proper time and you wake up at a proper time. You don't get sleep during the daytime. Okay, so that is what is sound sleep. Regular activity of bowels and bladder. Okay, so if you observe, you can see so many similarities between the Kashyap's definition or even Charaka's definition to this physical dimension, right? So your digestion is proper, your appetite is good, then yes, the product of digestion, the end products are also fine. Smooth, easy, coordinated bodily movements. That means when you are walking in a proper way. You're not kind of feeling any giddiness, or you're not falling down. Okay, so what if you are working? Your motor activities are proper. They are well coordinated. You don't get into accidents very frequently. If you are getting into accidents frequently, yes, then you need to go for a checkup. All organs in the body are of unexceptional size and function normally. What is exceptional size? What do you mean by exceptional size? Exceptionally big, exceptionally small, right? We use that term like that. Unexceptional means uneventful. It doesn't mean there is any change. So all the organs in the body are of proper, according to your age, according to your sex, size, and they also function normally. Then all the special senses are intact. All your sense organs are working properly, maybe physiologically or anatomically. The resting, pulse rate, blood pressure, and exercise tolerance all are within the range of normality. Normality for an individual's age and sex. Okay. And lastly, the young and growing individual, there is a steady gain of weight. We all have experienced that, right? And then you grow to a proper optimum at the age of your 25 years. There the development in a sense of your height stops. Okay, your all the organs and everything, whatever is needed for you to become a proper healthy adult, you have attained that. And then the weight gain, whatever weight is on in your 25th year, the same weight has to be maintained throughout your life. It can go a little bit up and down, but it is around 2.3 kgs up, 2.3 kgs below, like approximately 5 kgs range. So you should maintain your weight in that. So check yourself if you are, of course, you are still growing. So now, how to understand if you're physically healthy or not. So the evaluation is pretty clear, right? At the personal level, you can definitely go for self-assessment. You can check your weight, you can check your height, you can compare it with your age, and you can check your blood pressure, you can check your respiratory rates, pulse rates, etc. You can go for a clinical examination, see if everything, all your senses are working properly, your eye examination, all the sensitivity of your special senses. And you can go for history taking. You will understand if the person is suffering from any disease or not, whether any condition has changed his health status or not, by asking standardized questionnaires for specific systems as well. You will find this questionnaire in WHO site, okay, to evaluate health. Yes, it is a very elaborate process of understanding the health. It is a very big questionnaire, but yes, if you want, you can definitely check it out. If you need help with forming of the questionnaire, or if you want to see the questionnaire, you can definitely write to me or leave it in the comments posture, and I can share that questionnaire with you. So you will get an idea about how to evaluate health if you're going for a research. Then you can definitely go for nutrition and dietary assessments, biochemical and lab examination, see if your blood level are proper, like whatever readings are required, if it is there or not. Okay. So this is how you evaluate the physical health at a personal level. If a patient comes to you and if he asks whether I'm healthy or not, how will you know? You can evaluate in this way. But how to evaluate a society at a community level? How to evaluate a nation? It is through these rates. Okay. So all these death rate, infant mortality rate, all these things evaluate the health of a nation. Okay. That is why they are there. Then coming to the next dimension, the mental health. The mental dimension is understood like this. The person is free from conflicts. What are conflicts? It is the confused state of your mind. You want to do it or you don't want to do it. You want to study or you don't want to study. You want to listen to something. You want to develop something. You want to create something. You are in conflicts. Then yes, your mental dimension is not healthy. Then you're well adjusted. You can become adjusted in any situation, and you proactively think towards how to develop yourself. Fine, you come to a course, like you got admission into Ayurveda course, and then how was the status? Your mental status was very much confused, like you were adjusting to a very different environment. Till your PU, you have been in a very different environment. You have been at home, or you were having a different set of your friends. You were having a different type of study, and after you come here you realize that this is an entirely different way to study, to approach. It is a viewpoint which has to change. You might have to stay in the hostel and everything, right? So you adjust yourself and you try to become a better version of yourself. Okay, so that is how the mentally healthy person will do. The mentally healthy person will also search for an identity. He want to find himself. That is what we are doing, right? We are all trying to find ourselves. We are all trying to find the passion. You want to develop in a way that you want to be recognized. You want to be separated from the crowd. So that is how we are. We are professionals. We always kind of form the impression on the society. You have to form the impression on your patient, on the people you are dealing with. So that can only happen when you find a proper identity, when you know yourself, when you know what you are good at, when you are confident. Okay, so then you have to have a self-esteem. You can never feel that you are not good enough. Okay, so you have to find the passion in you, and you have to develop yourself in a better way, and you have to respect yourself. That self-esteem has to be developed in a way. Self-actualization. The mentally healthy person knows what he wants to do. He is not confused. He is not having any dualities in his mind. He is always very, maybe, see, dualities do come and go. We are all human beings. At one point of time, we do have to decide things, right? But it should not become an issue where you kind of lose your mind. You struggle, but yes, you decide and you go ahead with what you want. That is how the mentally healthy person will do. And that is how a professional should be as well. So it is kind of a development for you as well, a system, a route map for you, how you should be. Now, self-control, a very important one. We should have a self-control. We are professionals, right? A mentally healthy person should develop this self-control. It is not easy. It is not easy to develop a mentally healthy dimension. So that is where the yoga science comes into hand. We'll be studying about the yoga science in coming sessions as well. So you should learn to have self-control. You should develop that. It is not something which is already inborn. For some, yes, it is inborn. But for many, we have to develop that self-control in a proper way. Then copes well with stress and anxiety. The stress is of two kinds. One, which is positive, which kind of pushes you towards development, okay, towards working hard, towards gaining something for yourself, towards gaining the goals of our life, okay, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, all these things. And then there is a stress which is negative, which gives rise to anxiety, which is kind of, you become overwhelmed with that stress, okay. So you should avoid the second type. You should always take the stress in a calm manner. You should learn to handle the stress so that you develop, it leads to your development, not your adhogati. Now, social dimension. So what is social dimension? Social, yes, it is very important. It is like a harmony and integration. See, when you find yourself, when you are mentally healthy, when you are physically healthy, you are ready to open yourself to the society. Okay, if you are still struck with your own physical and mental health, you will not go to the next level. So this is like a next level, like you play games, right? So there are different levels. This is how it is. You have to develop a good mental and physical health, and then enter the social dimension. You become harmonious and you become integrated within yourself, and then you start to give away the same feeling, you radiate the same feeling of health around you. The first point of contact are the individuals who are around you, your friends, your family. And then you expand this dimension to include the community. You give something back to the community. You guide them towards a proper healthy way. Okay, so this has three levels again. Then coming to the next, this, yes, what does the social dimension include? It includes the ethics, it includes the integrity, the principles. Okay, the purpose in life, you try to find a proper purpose, maybe a materialistic purpose, but yes, let us start with the materialistic purpose itself. It's not wrong to have materialistic goals and aims. If you want to achieve something, it is fine. That is the step where you should be, and then later you go ahead and become non-materialistic achievements as well. So that is fine. So you find a purpose of life in your life, and then you can direct others to find the purpose in their life as well. You stick to ethics. These ethics and principles and the integrity gives you a character, gives you a solid personality which can guide others. If not, you cannot guide anybody, fine? And especially when we are professionals, we are meant to guide others, right? You guide the patients, you guide. Okay, guiding the patients is not that difficult because the patient is already submissive. But guiding a healthy person to maintain his health is a very tough job. And to guide a society to maintain the health is tougher. You are seeing the example right now. It took a pandemic like COVID to awaken everybody towards maintaining their health, right? We have been telling it since centuries, but the people were not aware enough. They were not awakened like how they are awakened right now. So it is a very tough job. If you want to learn this science, you have to be very tough. You have to be convincing. Involves a lot of field work. Okay, it involves going out of your comfort zone a lot. It gives you challenges which you have never faced before. Okay, so it is like multiple professions coming into one. Then committing to higher being. So after you achieve some purpose in your life, you have to grow a little bit more to commit yourself to something higher, a higher purpose, a higher being of the universe, wherein you can be much more better, a better version of yourself. Okay, so that is how the social dimension works. The social dimension believes in these abstract concepts. See how the WHO or the modern science has developed. They are accepting these abstract concepts. They are even accepting the dimensions like what you say, the spiritual dimension, the emotional dimension. What is emotional dimension? Emotional dimension and what you say, kind of mental dimension are nearly similar. There is a hairline difference. Mental dimension is something which is like you analyze. It is analytical mindset, whereas emotional dimension or emotional quotient also, you can say, it is something where you feel things. Your feelings come into hand. You start understanding how you feel and how to change these feelings, how to tame the feelings. Okay, so those things, how to cope up, how to bring them to a healthy level, what are the different levels of feelings. So that is what is emotional concept. And then there is a spiritual concept. Spiritual concept mainly is based on finding a higher being, finding a purpose in life, which is beyond these physical things. Okay, so beyond the perceivable things. When you attain everything, you will find like there is no goal for life. You have done everything. So what is there? There is a higher being. So you form a goal and you work towards it. That is what is spiritual dimension. Okay, so that is how you grow and develop. So, and then there are many other dimensions. You can just go and study, read about those. It is a very interesting and very thought-provoking study. Okay, so let us stop till here and let us understand what we studied in today's class. We understood what is importance of Swastha Vritta, why we should study Swastha Vritta. It is the only science wherein you can actually make a major change. But yes, it is a very challenging science as well. It's not that easy. It involves a lot of work. Okay, not what you study only in your studies, like in a college and classroom. It is something which is which you have to keep on discovering. You have to go out in this community and start kind of what you say, making people aware. So, what you say, in a way, create that awareness. There is a lot of creativity involved in this science. It is not that easy. Then you understood what is preventive and social medicine, right? The sister concern of our science, the modern aspect. And we also discussed what are the different definitions of health, how the health definition manifested. It is a very interesting story, how the researchers started developing. Okay, and then we understood the dimensions or the definition itself in a proper way. We also understood how to evaluate the physical and mental health. Okay, so this is all for today. In the next class, we'll enter into the different concepts, like how our science, Ayurveda, has different basic concepts. In the same way, the allopathic science also has some basic concepts. Okay, so we'll take a peek into these concepts and we'll understand what are these. They are very interesting, and let us meet again in the next class. The homework, of course, to find the definition, the realistic definition of WHO, and post it in comments. If you have any questions regarding maybe the questionnaire for health or any other topic what we discussed today, you can definitely post it in the comments and reach back to me. Thank you very much for joining today. Have a nice day. We'll end the session here today. Thank you.